In this video, I'm going to talk about some of my first impression on the PC beta on Fallout 76. I want to focus on playing in a team with other people compared to a more solitary experience, and most importantly, I want to talk about voice chat. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board this new video on Fallout 76. I want to start from the more concerning point for me, which is the proximity voice chat. First thing, I want to say that yes, it's completely optional and you can mute it if you want by the settings. You can go in the setting and mute the global voice chat. That's totally an option. But like, my question here is, was that really necessary in the first place? Like the whole thing with the voice chat? It is really useful, yes, and it can be fun as well. The problem is the way people use it, and how far you can hear other people sometimes. For giving you some examples, as soon as I came outside the vault, there was a dude there, and we talked for a bit, we teamed up, we took down a couple of basic enemies, and in general, it was a fun encounter. It was nice.
Hello?
Hello! Oh, this thing truly works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting it, to be honest. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
5 minutes later, we went to the first overseer camp, and we met a couple of other guys there, and they were like crafting stuff to progress in the main quest. So far, it was me and him, so I was like glad to see more people. And we started talking to them like about, oh, we get outside the vault, we kill a couple enemies, we reached to the overseer camp, and like until this point, when one of them said, "Hey buddy, if you craft a weapon and a piece of gear, you level up." And that for me, it was a stab. It was a stab right through my heart, because like it broke the magic of that moment. Like until that point, I was a guy who came out of the vault, found a friend, and progressed with him until the overseer camp. I met a bunch of other people. That sentence was so painfully game mechanic related that it broke my experience. I was enjoying my character life until that point. And yes, of course, I was completely aware that I was playing a video game, but I was enjoying every single moment of it, like a child at Christmas when he opens the presents. And that sentence made feel everything much more trivial. Surely that guy wanted to help, but he was just playing the game. I was enjoying the game. I don't know if I can really give you an idea what I'm talking about here, and maybe I'm a little bit too hard about this, because like in the end that guy was just trying to help. But this was the beginning of what made me decide to make this video. We progressed into Flatwoods, and there were like 10 people there doing stuff. And what happened there was the complete opposites. Since there were like too many people, we were just ignoring each other, exactly like you do in real life when you get into a train or a bus with other people you don't know. You just ignore them. Like nobody was talking to anyone. We were doing our stuff and we were leaving. And that was even more painful. I was trying to say hello to some of them, but nobody did answer me back. Sure, it's entirely possible that none of those 10 people had a microphone. I also met a guy inside of a building who was swearing a lot. Like a lot. And then that part is not gonna be in the video, for obvious reasons. But I met another guy later on, while I was proceeding to the next quest mark. And we did not really talk much, but we teamed up to kill a group of Scorched. And after that, he left me without saying hello, without saying anything. He just left. And I liked that. It felt like we were doing our business, each one with a different objective. We grouped up against a common enemy, and then we were on our separate ways. And it was relatable to a post-apocalyptic scenario. And that made me enjoy the experience. That was good. That brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is teamwork. This is a multiplayer game, and in some areas, teamwork is really helpful. Like for example, Flatwoods, there is an event constantly going on there, like every 10-15 minutes or so, in which like some robots, they attack the town and you need to dispose of them. First time I completed the event, there were like those 10 players around. So I killed a couple of robots with another guy and other people were dealing with the others, and we, cleared the event pretty easily. Second time I was in town for that, there were only 3 people, and it was significantly more difficult. One of the other players saved me from death, and it was pretty awesome. I was starting to accept the fact that I was going to die against that robot, because like I didn't have like many ammo, and the robot was just shot on the ground from this guy. So being a multiplayer focus game, it is set to challenge multiple players, of course. However, if you are enough prepared, you can totally go alone. I cleared a building full of robots on my own. They were level 1 robots, but there were a lot of them, okay? And towards the end of my session, I did play more with a solitary approach, more classic Fallout. And it felt great. I went to the next main quest mark, there were no player around, and there were Scorched in the area. And I decided to kill them from afar, taking like a stealthy approach. And it felt exactly like a regular Fallout experience. Once again, I was enjoying the world around me, and once again I felt immersed. I did also face some Mirelurks later on, and once again I managed not to die, which doesn't sound great, but for a multiplayer focused game, being able to go along like they promised is a really good thing. Now you're probably starting to see my argument there. Fallout multiplayer works, it's good, and I like it. I wished to be able to play with my friends in the Fallout universe for like the longest time, but sometimes it's better to go for a regular Fallout experience. Personally, the parts of my session that I did enjoy the most were at the very beginning, when I met that guy and we hung out together, just the two of us, and at the very end, when I was wandering alone. I didn't really like the crowd of people that I met in Flatwoods, because we were not really interacting with each other, we just were like minding our own business and leaving. Now, of course, this was the beginning area, and so it was normal that everybody was around there, and probably, eventually, it becomes true later on that it's more difficult to encounter people because the map is so big, and every encounter will feel special. I hope. But the voice chat needs to be adjusted. Like currently, there is only the option to have it on or off. That's it. It's like black or white. And I do believe that having the voice chat on all the time is a bad idea. In my opinion, you should be able to like request voice chats to somebody and they can decide to accept it or not, like with a friend list or whatever, or at the very least having a push to talk option. That would be like the bare minimum in my opinion. And also the range of the voice chat should be reduced just a tiny bit because like for many people can ruin the experience. It happens many times that I was like going around and I was hearing people talking and they were like so far away inside of a building and I was outside and I was not supposed to hear them, and I was like hearing them super clear, like they were like right next to me. And if you're not still convinced about what I'm saying, allow me to show you one of the short clips in the end of my session. Again, I was going alone, full game immersion, not thinking about anything but my next destination, and I hear this.
Dude, I'm telling you, New Vegas is the best Fallout I ever played. I've played 3, I've played 4, completed all of them. Although I didn't complete New Vegas, I was a few missions short.
It was nice to hear other people talking to each other, but you could hear them from too far away, in my opinion. It does help the game to feel more alive, yes, but at the same time, because of what those people were saying, it made it feel more like that. Just a game. Nothing else. Not an experience, not another world, nothing special. Now, probably this is not gonna be an issue for everybody, just for some of you. And again, we do have the option to turn the voice chat off. But these are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment if you agree or disagree. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you did, leave a like down below if you enjoyed. And subscribe for more, because they are coming. And I'll see you in the next video. Feel the rainbow!